honestly, I was actually really excited for high school. I knew that it was going to change. My middle school experience was not the best. I was always picked on as a kid. I never really, fit in with the popular crowd, even though I always tried to. I always thought being popular was going to be the way to roll the dice, but it was the exact opposite. And I was just very excited to go into high school and have a fresh start.
Well, I guess before high school, before my first day, I was kind of scared just because I loved middle school. Not gonna lie, some people hated it. I loved it because I had a bunch of friends and everything was the same and it was just all hunky-dory. It was great. And for high school, it was just such a big change, and I'm not really a person who enjoys change that much, or at least I didn't. So it was just kind of a big new thing for me, and I wasn't looking forward to it so much as wishing it didn't have to happen.
It was definitely a little nerve-wracking because it was the whole high school experience, and you hear about, high school's the best 4 years of your life. And I was like, I gotta live up to these stereotypes of high school, and it was a little stressful, but the learning curve was pretty fast.
Well, I moved to this area from a different part of Baltimore, so I was new. I didn't really know anybody. I had one really close friend, and I just kind of stuck with her. I had a really hard time in middle school. I didn't talk very much. I didn't have very many friends at my school. I was kind of awkward, and I didn't really come out of my shell. I didn't know what I liked to do, and so that kind of came with me as I entered high school. I didn't really know what to expect. So once I entered freshman year, I always tell my friends nowadays that I don't even think freshman year even happened, because I was still that awkward, quiet little girl that just sat quietly in class and didn't talk to anybody.
Well, one of my best friends was going to Towson, which is another high school that my middle school feeds into, and I thought that I was going to miss her every single day, and our friendship would never be the same. And I was half right. Our friendship was never the same. In fact, I haven't talked to her in 3 years. But it's okay, because going to different high schools made us different people, and you grow apart naturally. It's just the way that things happen, and even if your best friends are at different schools, you'll find new ones.
First impressions were, oh my goodness, there's so many people.
A lot of people.
It was bigger. It was just bigger and better and faster and stronger than Ridgely was.
I just got really depressed really fast during my freshman year of high school, mostly because right off the bat, freshman year started off great. I had a whole new group of friends. Everything was going well. Grades were going well. But then, literally not even halfway through the first quarter, my family started to have a lot of problems again. And Mom started to sue my dad again. Both parents filed for bankruptcy. A lot of stuff went down. And basically, I also had this girlfriend, and she was terrible, cheated on me 3 times, and it was my first real, serious relationship, so of course I was heartbroken by all that kind of stuff. So it spiraled me down into a huge depression. I actually ended up failing English first quarter. I've never ever failed a class in my life. Never even came close to failing a class, and I failed it, and I was totally starstruck and totally depressed on everything that was going on, and the beginning of the year just already took a downward turn for the worse.
I still had probably, I'd say half my friends from middle school went to high school, but I was only in the class with about 1 or 2 of them. So it was just kind of strange just to have to go into a new environment with all those people that I had no clue who they were, and just try to deal with it. And I guess I know now that they were all in the same place as I was, but I guess then it just seemed like, it was like, oh my gosh, they all know each other. I don't know anyone. This is crazy.
I went to Ridgely, and the other school was Cockeysville, and all the Cockeysville kids were like a family. They loved each other, and they were all tight, and they would hug all the time. And then coming from Ridgely, we all hated each other. Nobody had any friends, and all the people that were friends were all fake friends. So then I felt like the Cockeysville people were over here, and the Ridgely people were over here. And we just weren't on their level. So I felt alienated by pretty much everybody, until I realized that the Cockeysville people were a family because they wanted to be, and then when they would welcome new members of the family. So then now my best friend is from Cockeysville, and it's it would take me several minutes to realize which person now in the senior class went to Cockeysville originally. Like, it's not a distinction that matters anymore.
I think schoolwork kind of got to me because I took GT biology and we actually had to read the textbook. And in middle school, I never read the textbook, so I always had trouble with that. And another thing was that I was really shy, but I kind of learned to get over that because I think I learned to get out of my shell so that I could learn better, I could get to know my teachers better, and that I could just like overall enjoy school more. So freshman year is a good time to kind of just explore what you want to do and not really confine yourself and get to know people.
I remember I joined a bunch of clubs because I really wanted to see what I liked, because I had no idea who I really was. And I was in improv club, I film club, I don't know, I was in everything. And then from there I really picked off what I liked and what I didn't. And it wasn't until sophomore year that I really kind of came out of my shell and started talking more, and my grades came up because I felt more confident and I paid more attention in class, because freshman year I wasn't that focused, and I think that's an important thing to do when you enter high school, is to have focus, never lose that focus.
I was a big ice hockey player. I also played baseball, so I was a big sports player and very egotistic at that as well. And I played sports, and again, I was never really fit in with the popular crowd, so everyone on the sports teams would make fun of me, would disclude me on a lot of the team dinners, wouldn't even tell me when they had team dinners, and so. But that being said, Miss Garrett heard me singing down the hallway one time and literally pulled me aside and basically said, look, you need to try out for the musical. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm an ice hockey player, I'm a baseball player, I get made fun of on a daily basis, and now I want to try out for theater. Not a chance. I knew for a fact I was going to get made fun of, and I did. But the fact of the matter is I did try out, and it was the greatest thing that could have ever happened in my life because it changed my life forever.
It has been a school that's given me opportunities. Overall, above all, that's what it does. It doesn't limit the number of AP classes you can take, and it doesn't limit you in terms of core curriculum too much, but there is pressure to take certain classes because everybody else is taking them, like physics. Like mostly everybody takes physics. The clubs are intense, some of them, and for example, Key Club is super intense. There's such a wide variety of clubs, but you can come here, and if you don't see a club that is there, you can make it. Like Chinese Club, was only created 2 or 3 years ago by Minwei, who also created 19 other clubs. It's what you make of it, which is something that people say a lot about other things too, but it is true.
I've been extremely happy with my time at Dulaney. I know there are so many people here who are so sick of school in general, and Dulaney specifically, because they're just not, they don't have that toughness, that mental toughness. But I like to pride myself in thinking that I have that, and through that perspective, I've loved Dulaney, and I feel like Dulaney has provided me with so many opportunities and so many challenges and so many rewards for everything that I've gone through in these 4 years. And I know that going to Dulaney has made me a better person and prepared me for the future more than any other high school in the county or in the state or in the country would have. And I know that it provides that for every one of its students that is willing to take up the challenge.
I had my locker combo on a sticky note, and I kept it with me, and that one day I had forgotten it on my counter. So it seemed like it was like the Odyssey, just some big adventure. I had to go find the principal, because I didn't know who else to go to. I didn't know what counselors were or teachers, and what the heck is that? No, I went to the principal directly and asked for the code again, and I just remember coming back, walking into class 20 minutes late, and then having to sit down and explain, because the teacher was mean, why I was so late, and I was extremely embarrassed. It's not something to be embarrassed about, but I certainly was.
Embarrassing moment from freshman year. I got a B in biology for the first quarter. That was embarrassing, because pretty much that had never happened before. And then I think it was just I wasn't doing the reading, and I then failed the reading quizzes and also the tests, and basically it was just bad. And then I adjusted to the workload, and I ended up getting 3 A's for the rest of the quarters, and I got an A and on the final, and it was great. And I really learned that even if you're struggling at first, it's okay, because you have to adjust to new environments.
That wing down there is so confusing, the science wing. And I just like walked into a random class, sat down, and teacher was like, "Oh, you're not in my class." And that was a little awkward.
I just remember in my government class, I always used to get yelled at because I would be zoning out, and then there was this one time that we were supposed to read something from the textbook, and I was zoning out really obviously, and then my teacher called me out and asked me to summarize what we read, and I couldn't say anything, so I just sat there for 5 minutes saying, I think, and it was the most uncomfortable situation for a really long time, and I think that was one of the worst moments of 9th grade.
And I can tell you, the people who are coming in, as a freshman, you can't expect the world to be all flowers and rainbows right off the bat. You need to learn your lessons, and you need to learn experiences and do everything you possibly can to learn things. Because as a freshman going on, I always thought, I'll just fit in and I'd be a popular kid, I want to have everyone like me, and it's not about that. It's not about fitting in. It's not about having a ton of friends and having the hottest girlfriend. It's not anything about that. It's about learning experiences and then learning everything you possibly can and doing everything you can to become a better person. And that's the way that you should attack high school, instead of going in thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to be popular, I'm going to have everyone like me. It's nothing like that whatsoever.
Don't expect to be hated, because more than likely you're going to find your friends, and you're going to have those friends within, I'd say for me it was within like the first maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, you get your friends and you have your friends, and that's your friends. You don't have to worry about it.
Know your way around the school. Don't think you're so great just because you're in high school. You need to back up your talk with your actions, and don't be a jerk, because people will be jerks to you if that's the case.
Focus. It's all about, don't think too much about, oh, it's high school, I have to impress everybody, I have to be a different person. I don't think that. Just if you stay focused on school and stay focused on who you are, then you'll really discover, your interests and what kind of person you really are. And then by the end of high school, like right now I'm in my junior year, and I think I have my vision of myself and my self-confidence is 10 times higher than it was freshman year.
Learn, definitely, but also learn to have fun and enjoy your friends, so just balance your time.
Don't be lazy. You will regret it.